good in this event. You want to be strong. You want to be a pretty good gymnast. And that's a pretty good description for Danny Horan in lane number 3.
Danny Horan took 11th in the speed clean and jerk ladder. Let's hope that she's got some strength left in her shoulders to do those handstand push-ups.
And we do have somebody representing the CrossFit moms here in heat number 1. That would be mother of 1, Brista Mayfield.
With the gymnastics background and a really strong deadlift, Brista Mayfield should do well here. Well, Brandon, the key is right off the bat here is to avoid failure on those handstand push-ups. You need to kick down off the wall and take a break before you hit failure because the refresh is so long. On the lunges, once we get to those lunges, you just got to fight fatigue. And it's really simple. Suck it up.
Round 1, just like that, already in the books. And the leader will be Danny Horan. Camilla Solomonson-Hellman will be in second. Stephanie Chung on the center, the front of the screen, not far behind. You'll note the leader's name highlighted in blue, with the rep count showing in the number next to them. Everybody else highlighted in red, showing how many reps they are behind the lead. Men had a 14-inch deficit. It's still an 8-inch deficit on these handstand push-ups for the ladies here in heat number 1. Brenda Castro finds herself in the lead position. They jostle with Camilla Solomonson-Hellman. Castro on the left side of the screen. Courtney Haley, center of the screen, working on the kettlebell deadlifts as well. But it's Europe regional rookie Camilla Solomonson-Hellman first back to the wall. She'll start the round of 13. It'll be 39 reps to the end of the handstand push-ups, 52 to the end of the deadlifts. How do you feel about this pacing? It looks like she's starting to slow down on these reps. You like her fighting through this?
It's a double-edged sword there, Brandon. You can spend time resting on your head, but then you're not allowing the blood flow to kind of move around where it should be. So my recommendation in that situation would be to kick off the wall, try to keep your refresh time down, and get right back upside down. Staying upside down, over time, it's just going to wear on you.
Top 3 all on the screen. The leader, Camilla Solomonson-Hellman, in all white on the right side of the box. On that left box with 2 athletes. Right side of that in blue top and dark blue pants is Courtney Haley, currently in 3rd. Brenda Castro on the far left, currently in 2nd.
We can see Brendan Castro on the far left-hand side of the screen. When she kicks upside down, she has the most powerful kick of the 3. You can see her bring those knees down and snap the hips open, driving all the way to the top, just using the shoulders at the very top of her lockout.
Castro will find herself 2 reps, now 3 behind the leader, which continues to be Camilla Solomonson-Hellman. Still not to the 3-minute mark, which would be halfway in this 6-minute time cap event. She is putting a ton of effort into a big set. She gets through 8 of the 13 needed to complete these deadlifts, and she's getting herself fired up in a big way.
Love the intensity on the face. She is getting after it with those kettlebells.
She is through the couplet portion and just has the overhead walking lunge remaining. She is not a stranger to the game. She is individually a rookie, but she was here 2 years ago with CrossFit Nordic, the team that finished 6th place in the Affiliate Cup competition, as she begins this 89-foot march down the floor of the Alliant Energy Center. And this is a huge lead for her over Castro, Haley, and the rest of the field.
Her positioning looks really strong. She's got her elbows as locked as she can get them given the fatigue level, and she's stacking the wrist, elbow, shoulder, and hip as best she can. That allows her to keep moving across the floor and limit fatigue in the shoulders.
Brenda Castro 44 seconds back as she makes her way to the lunge. Now she took a ultra quick break between that final deadlift and starting the kettlebell lunges. That's a bit aggressive. We haven't seen that work out for many. But she continues to only try to chase down Camilla Solomonson-Hellman, who's making her way through the final 4 segments. Each line on the floor 6 feet apart. Both heels will have to clear the red line, which is about to enter the screen, and there it is, as Camilla Solomonson-Hellman will set him down with one line remaining. She might just need a quick breather and a couple of lunges away for a heat win for the 6th place finisher from a couple of years ago as part of CrossFit Nordic. Camilla Solomonson-Hellman getting an extra lunge for good measure as she hops up onto the platform at 4 minutes and 47 seconds to set the time to beat. Race for second is going to be Brenda Castro and Courtney Haley. Haley is now past Castro. Keep an eye on lane number 3 for Danny Horan on the right side of the screen as well. Castro on the left, Haley in the center, Horan on the right. This is the race for second, third, and fourth. Krista Mayfield is in 5th, but a decent amount behind these 3. And Danny Horan might take advantage of the dropped kettlebells by the 2 rookies in this race. And the 5-time Games qualifier is one step away. She's fighting the urge to set those kettlebells down. She can now because she's past the red line, and she's onto the platform for a 2nd place finish in the heat. 3rd place will belong to Australia's Courtney Haley, and the 23-year-old data analyst by day, CrossFit Games athlete by weekend here this time, will be our 3rd place finisher. Brenda Castro, the Latin American regional champion, will be in 4th. Chloe Galvin-David in the center lane trying to get to that line, but she will be unable to do so within that 6-minute time cap. So we'll have 4 of the 8 athletes in heat number 1 be able to beat the 6-minute mark, led by Camilla Solomonson-Hellman at 4:47.
Well, Brandon, early on, it was Camilla Solomonson-Hellman making those handstands look really easy, up and down without too much of an issue. Her kip was super strong. Brenda Castro made a move, but you can find her struggling to lock out some of those handstand push-ups. The fatigue factor set in. You can see her shaking those arms out there. But then it was Hellman grabbing those kettlebells on the last set of deadlifts and just ripping them off the floor. The intensity was there. She started her lunges, made her way almost all the way across the floor before setting them down to take a break. Her positioning was perfect. It allowed her to put most of the stress in the glutes, take the stress off the shoulders, but she crosses the line and takes the heat win.
Said you wanted to be strong and a good gymnast. Well, how about a background in motocross and Thai boxing? That's what it took for Camilla Solomonson-Hellman to lead the way here in our opening heat of event number 7 at 4 minutes, 47 seconds. Over 50 seconds quicker than Danny Horan in second. Courtney Haley, Brenda Castro, the other 2 to beat the 6-minute time cap. So that is the opening heat of 4 for the ladies in event number 7. We have heat number 2 coming up right about now. One heat down, 3 heats remain for the ladies in event number 7 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Fibonacci, welcome back to the Alliant Energy Center. Brandon Domain, Rob Orlando, and Mike Arsenault with you as we have our second group of athletes to take on this mathematically based challenge to close out day 2.
Individual event number 7 is 583 of the couplet deficit handstand push-ups, 8 inches for the ladies here, and double kettlebell deadlifts with a 124-pound kettlebell in each hand. Once they finish 5-8-13, they need to march across the floor 89 feet long with a 35-pound kettlebell overhead. They've got 6 minutes to get all that work done.
5 of the 9 athletes here in heat number 2 took on this challenge when it was the finale of the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games. They were led by the woman in lane number 5, Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault.
Reason-Thibault finished this event last year in 11th place. Hopefully she can do that, match that, or come up better this year.
Now, this event has 2 very contrasting elements to it with strength and gymnastics. Sometimes you got to battle one of those, and that might be the case for Paige Semenza, an athlete to keep an eye on.
Paige Semenza tends to struggle a little bit with her gymnastics, but she's really powerful. So the deadlift shouldn't be too much of a problem with those 124-pound kettlebells.
Chasing the time of 4 minutes, 47.08 seconds set by Camilla Solomonson-Hellman. 1 heat to go. How can these athletes get there?
The keys to the event, Brandon, we've got to avoid failure on the handstand push-ups. You can't allow yourself to get to the failure point because the refresh time is too long. And then once you get to the overhead walking lunges, it's only 89 feet. You just need to suck it up and fight the fatigue.
As always, leader's name will be highlighted in blue, with the number showing how many reps they've completed. They're working towards the magic number of 68 overall in this event. Everybody else will be highlighted in red, with a minus number showing how many reps they are behind. And the current woman highlighted in blue, no surprise, Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault, the top finisher out of anybody here in this heat from 1 year ago in this event.
She's got a really powerful kick coming out of the bottom, rests her head on the ground for just a second, and then snaps those hips open and flies up the wall.
124 pounds in each hand. It's Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault cruising through these deadlifts. 26 is the number working towards in round number 2. Reason-Thibault, center lane of the screen. Second place is all the way on the top of the screen. That's Gilfadottir. Jennifer Smith in lane number 3, also in the race for second. There is Gilfadottir.
Now, some people at home might be thinking, well, I've got a 250-pound deadlift. I should be able to do that. Those 124-pound kettlebells in each hand, they are unruly. They're the size of basketballs. They've got a thick handle. There's no knurling. And as you deadlift off the ground, they bang into your leg. You're forced to take a narrow stance. It completely changes the deadlift itself.
As the leaders work through into round number 3, let's check in with Mike Arsenault.
A number of athletes believe this version of Fibonacci will be quote-unquote easier, or let's say less difficult than last year, because the deficit is less. So yes, there's more reps, but they found it more difficult to deal with the deficit from last year. So they think this will be a little bit easier. Yes, they'll have to do more reps, but it's not as much of a range of motion concern as they had in 2017.
Well, no more deficit concerns for Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault as she's on to the kettlebell deadlifts for her final 13 reps, working towards rep number 52, which is just 8 reps now, 7 reps away for the heat leader. She has opened up a large lead over Jennifer Smith in second, Gilfadottir in third. And it has just been smooth sailing since the beginning for Reason-Thibault.
She's managed this event perfectly. The handstand push-ups were flawless. Just her execution and her ability to pop out of the bottom of the kipping position. And then the deadlift, super smooth, flat back, shoulders pinned back, feet close together. It's as good as it can look right there with those 124-pound kettlebells.
13 rep lead over Jennifer Smith. Is on the right side of that box on the left side of the screen. Gilfadottir will continue to sit in the 3rd position, but Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault has already started her trek 89 feet down the floor here at the Coliseum. Again, 4:47.08 seconds. The time to beat set by Camilla Solomonson-Hellman in our opening heat. Reason-Thibault's got to be careful with her right foot as she was starting to inch towards what would be the out-of-bounds line, basically. You have to stay within the lane. Past halfway, still not setting them down.
She looks really strong in this position, but she's smart. She's going to set them down. She's got a massive lead.
Through 60 of 89 feet is the leader, Carol-Ann Reason-Thibault. It's a 50-foot advantage over Jennifer Smith, who's in lane number 3. You can see her far, far in the background as Reason Tebow is closing in on what should be the new top time to beat, as she's got about 25 seconds to go another 10 feet. Oh, she's going to get a no rep for that shuffle of the feet. Going to have to hurry up, but she's got 12 seconds remaining. Oh, another shuffle is going to count. And new time to beat. Carol Ann Reason Tebow, 4 minutes, 44.77 seconds. Jennifer Smith trying to hold off Rebecca Voigt on the near side of the screen in all black. Not far behind them on the top of the screen is a Gilvadotter and Mackenzie Riley in the purple shorts. Voigt has taken advantage of everybody else setting down the kettlebells. And how about this comeback in the event for Miss 10 time? Rebecca Voigt, one lunge. She's going to have to do another one as her heel was still on the line, but second place in heat number 2 for Rebecca Voigt. Gilvadotter in lane 1, she'll set him down. That gives the edge for third to this race between Smith and Riley. Smith in the blue shorts, Riley in the purple shorts. Smith unable to control him, and that'll give Riley the third position. 5 seconds to go for Jennifer Smith to possibly get across the line. She's got one lunge remaining. She'll get the lunge. Will she get on the platform? No, I don't think she beat the time cap on that. It'll be a cap designation, but all the work, aside from getting to the platform, complete. But with 2 heats remaining, the new woman being chased down by our top 20 in the point standings will be Carol Ann Reason Tebow, 4 minutes, 44.77 seconds.
Brandon, early on, one of the athletes that we took a look at was Paige Semenza, and we knew that she was going to struggle a little bit on those handstand push-ups, gymnastics, not quite in her wheelhouse the way that her deadlift is. And then it was Carol Ann Reason Tebow making the deadlifts look so easy. Everything was fast. Her transitions were really quick, on and off the wall, didn't waste any time, kicked herself right upside down and got herself into those kipping handstand push-ups. She had a little bit of a bobble towards the tail end of her lunges with just a few feet left. You could see her struggling on those last couple of steps. She may have even stepped out of bounds there, but she crosses the finish line and sets the new time to beat.
2.5 seconds quicker than the prior time to beat set by Camilla Solomonson-Hellman. That new time belongs to Carol Ann Reason Tebow, 4:44.77. Rebecca Voigt, second quickest in the heat, third quickest overall, as we have 2 heats remaining, with heat number 3 coming up next.
Fibonacci Friday rolls on as we close out day 2 of competition for the individuals here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Thanks for sticking with us today, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland alongside 2009 CrossFit Games champion Tanya Wagner, and Mike Arsenault has things covered on the competition floor. This event, a repeat, sort of, from the final event of the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games.
This is a great test. We have a 5-8-13 of parallel handstand push-ups, and their deficit of 6 of 8 inches. And then we have double kettlebell deadlift swing, 124 pounds each. And then the athletes are going to lunge with 2 kettlebells weighing 35 pounds each over their heads down the field. Now, this event we did see last year, they're doing 10 more total handstand push-ups though this year. The deficit last year was 3 inches lower, so a little bit different, but same general idea. Same feeling on fatigue on the body.
The 10 women in this third heat are all trying to get into the top 10 in the overall standings. Amanda Barnhart, a rookie in lane number 7, has never done this event before, but she has momentum right now.
There's strength needed in this event. She has that. She just came off a first place win in the speed clean and jerk ladder. Her other best finish so far at the games was day 1 when she took 3rd on the CFT. Margot Alvarez, she was here last year, and in comparison, she did not complete this event last year. She's looking for a little redemption and wants to do what we just saw in the previous heat Mackenzie Riley do.
5 deficit handstand push-ups to kick this thing off, and what do these women need to keep in mind now in this event?
The biggest thing is don't stay on and stay with those handstand push-ups if you're getting tired. No failed reps on the handstand push-ups. And then when you're fatigued through those lunges, you gotta fight through that or you gotta come down. We only saw 2 athletes so far go unbroken on those lunges. You don't want to fail because you have to go back and retrace your steps, so be smart there.
There are 67 total repetitions in this event. At 52, they will be able to take off down the floor on that 59-foot walking lunge with the 2 35-pound kettlebells held aloft. Carrie Pierce is your current leader. She is through 18 of those 67 total repetitions, and she is back to those 124-pound kettlebells for 8 repetitions. Your top 3 in this heat on the screen: Carrie Pierce in the upper left, Sandra Pacelli, who sits in 2nd place, actually pushing Pierce for the lead right now. She's in the white pants in the bottom right. Camila Blanc-Bazinet also back with a set of 13 deficit handstand push-ups. The tight battle for first place in this heat. The time to beat: Caroline Reason-Thibault in heat number 2, 4 minutes 44.77 seconds.
Carrie Pierce is among the best when it comes to handstand push-ups, not just because of her strength, but her ability with the muscular endurance. She can just handle the volume. And her range of motion, she's one of the shorter athletes, so shorter range of motion, she does have that going for her as well. I love that they're doing kettlebells for the deadlift. We saw the deadlift on the CFT on Wednesday. Much different style deadlift here. We talked about unilateral strength on one side of your body over the other, and your best athletes are balanced. This is a good indication if they can stay stabilized, that they have that. It's also a great, indication of their core strength because of the stabilization required with those 2 dumbbells. They're really heavy. It's 124 pounds in each hand.
Carrie Pierce is just about done with her deadlifts and about ready to start the lunge. We mentioned that this is somewhat of a repeat from last year, and for more on that, let's go down to the competition floor and Mike Arsenault.
A number of returning athletes from 2017 told me in the warm-up area that their hips and posterior chain feels a lot worse at this point doing Fibonacci than what they felt last year because all of the pulling they've done so far through 2 days of competition. However, their shoulders feel fresher and they also have less of a deficit, so they may be able to move through the handstand portion of this event a little bit faster than in 2017.
Thank you, Mike. And speaking of fast, Carrie Pierce is hauling down the floor and way ahead of the time to beat. Last year, her time in this event was 3:31.34 seconds.
She's making huge strides, not the little steps. That shows me how strong she is. When it's heavy, you can't make that big of a step, of a stride.
Pierce with 1 more lunge to go. She clears the red line. That's 67, and she is across as Carrie Pierce demolishes the time to beat by more than a minute.
That was incredible.
3 more women, meanwhile, on the walking lunge. Christy Aramo is one. She's in the middle of your screen. Sandra Pacelli in the white pants at the bottom is the other. And the 2014 fittest woman on earth, Camila Blanc-Bazinet. If they can get in before 4:44.77 seconds, they will be in second place with one heat to go in this event. All these women need those 100 points that go to the victor in order to get themselves into the top 10 and that final heat. Aramo in the bottom left, Camila Blanc-Bazinet and Sandra Pacelli in the upper right. And Aramo is just about done as she clears the red line. Both feet have to be completely over. Aramo is in, and she has the second best time.
That's huge for Aramo. She came into today in 5th place, but dropped all the way down to 13th.
Amanda Barnhart out of nowhere will take 3rd in the heat. Barnhart made up a ton of ground on that walking lunge and left those two way behind her. Camila Blanc-Bazinet is in. Bazinet will take 4th in the heat. Right now, that's 6th in the event. Barnhart has the 3rd fastest time we've seen so far as Sandra Pacelli finishes up. Six-minute time cap in this event. As Jamie Green works her way towards the finish line, she should make it without a problem. Tanil Burline is also out there, as is Maddie Sturt. Burline just got hit with a no rep. She has to retreat to the nearest line, so that means Maddie Sturt will get in ahead of her with 15 seconds to spare. The Burline, the last woman on the second to last woman on the competition floor, is Margot Alvarez, is still back in the handstand push-ups, now going to the kettlebell. She's on the far right of your screen, so Margot Alvarez is going to get time capped as Tanil Burline gets across the finish line. So a surprising result here for Margot Alvarez. But it's Carrie Pierce who has the new time to beat. 3 minutes, 40.58 seconds, looking for her 3rd career event win.
This event was all for her. She was quick on these handstand push-ups. Very fast transitions back and forth because she didn't need a lot of recovery. Really strong on these deadlifts, keeping a nice tight position on her body. Aramo the same, strong for these deadlifts, but it was when they got to the overhead walking lunges. Carrie Pierce ran away with this, unbroken, no bobbles, super strong ahead of that big long stride. She was able to run away with this. Put up the best time so far. Just 10 seconds slower than her time last year with 10 more handstand push-ups.
Carrie Pierce is your leader now with 1 heat to go in Fibonacci. 3 minutes, 40.58 seconds, nearly a minute faster than Christy Aramo and more than a minute faster than the prior time to beat. And Carrie Pierce is with Mike Arsenault.
Carrie, 15th place coming into this event. A good chance that performance will put you a lot closer to the top 10 as we head into the weekend. How did this version of Fibonacci compare to 2017?
This version, the handstand push-ups definitely got tough by the last set, the last 3. I remember last year I was just like flying through them. This year, for a split second, I almost broke them up. I'm like, no, just stay up here, fight it, see what you can do. So it was definitely a little more challenging, but we've been doing a lot of single arm or dumbbell deadlifts and things like that. So that part felt a lot easier, and so did the lunge. And it was just as fun as I remember last year, and the crowd was awesome and just as energetic as last year too. So that was great.
You did the lunge unbroken in 2018. You did the lunge unbroken in 2017. How did they compare? What was the difference between the two?
Even though my shoulders were a little bit more tired through the end of, of the handstand push-ups, the lunge actually felt a lot easier. So before I came out, my coach was like, you're stronger, you're faster than you were last year. So just see where you can push it.
And how does your body feel compared doing Fibonacci on Friday night as opposed to Sunday afternoon?
I can still feel my legs right now. So I remember last year my quads were just shot. So right now I actually feel pretty good. So
thanks, Carrie. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Carrie Pierce with the time to beat, 3 minutes, 40.58 seconds, but 1 heat remains, and the overall leaders will be taking the floor. The final heat of the Fibonacci for the women coming up next. Day 2 of competition for the individuals winds down as we are in the final heat of event 7 for the women. Fibonacci. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland alongside 2009 CrossFit Games champion Tanya Wagner and Mike Arsenault joining us on the competition floor momentarily. This event, sort of a repeat from last year.
These women are going to do handstand push-ups and double kettlebell deadlifts for reps of 5, 8, and 13. That's the numbers they're going to do for each of those two movements, different than last year. Then they're going to pick up kettlebells that weigh 35 pounds, and they're going to lunge them up and over their head for 89 feet down the field. They have 6 minutes to do that.
We like to get a little creative with our event names. Mike Arsenault has more on the reason why this event is named Fibonacci.
Thank you, Sean. Who is Fibonacci? He was an Italian mathematician who popularized the Fibonacci sequence, which is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two previous numbers, 5, 8, 13, the rep scheme in this event. And by the way, do you know what the next two Fibonacci numbers are? 21 and 34. Will that give Director of the CrossFit Games, Dave Castro, a few ideas for 2019?
Thank you, Mike. I'm sure those athletes don't want that to happen. The top 10 women in the overall standings are on the floor. Of course, this event last year is known for the great race between Tia Toomey and Cara Saunders, but the Icelandic women had a great race of their own.
There was another battle, and that was for a podium position for that third place spot between Sarah Sigmundsdottir, Katrin Davidsdottir, and Annie Thorsdottir. Sarah Sigmundsdottir came out on top of that race, taking first place in this event. But it was Annie Thorsdottir who ended up on the podium in third because of the points that she got. Sarah Sigmundsdottir, though, has not had the games that we've expected so far this year. If history repeats itself, she could have herself her first event win of the season and 100 points. Katrin Davidsdottir right now is sitting 46 points outside of podium position. She also has had some struggles along the way, 38th in the CrossFit total. She would definitely love 100 points at this point.
Final heat is underway. Of course, Annie Thorsdottir, the third woman in that battle. Right now, she sits in third place overall. She is 68 points back at Tia Toomey for the overall lead.
Couple keys to this event really are just don't fail the handstand push-ups. If you haven't done it before, you're not sure if you can make it, come on down, shake your arms out. Play fatigue once you get later on in the event.
Annie Thorsdottir is through her first round of 5 deficit handstand push-ups and 5 kettlebell deadlifts. Keep your eye on the top of the screen as the leader in the heat will have her name highlighted in a blue box. The number in the white box next to that athlete's name will indicate how many repetitions she has completed. The number in the white box next to everyone's name in red will indicate how many reps they trailed the leader of. And that is Brooke Wells on the left, who also did pretty well in this event. She is off. She's in the white shorts. Next to her is Cassidy Lance McWhorter, Annie Thorsdottir, and Brooke Wells swapping the lead as Tia Toomey is off the wall. Laura Horvath is in lane number 6, and she is falling well off the lead pace. She had the overall lead prior to the last event. She had a 36-point lead over Tia Toomey. She's the woman on the left who is now the overall leader, and right now Laura Horvath trails Toomey by 20 points, so a huge swing in just one event.
She took 21st in that speed, clean, and jerk ladder, so now we get a chance to see what does she do, how does she come back and fight that mental battle after placing so low, her lowest finish so far.
Annie Thorsdottir is still in the lead with Katrin Davidsdottir, and Cara Saunders is there as well. Katrin Davidsdottir is on the left, Thorsdottir is in the middle, and Tia Toomey just left the view on the right side of the screen.
Watch the way Annie drives her hips, fires her legs up. That's what gives her that elevation and helps her press herself out of the bottom. It's a great kick under control. Look how fast, though, Katrin Davidsdottir transitioned right to the deadlifts.
13 kettlebell deadlifts. There are 67 total repetitions in this event. At 52, they will take off down the floor on that 59-foot overhead walking lunge. Now, Cara Saunders on the bottom right is fighting Tia Toomey for third place in this heat. And Webb moving smoothly on those 124-pound kettlebells. Davidsdottir, 1 rep to go. She's done. Now it's time to grab the 35-pound kettlebells and take off on that march down the floor. Davidsdottir currently in 5th place overall. Laura Horvath, meanwhile, who's been impressive here through 2 days of competition, is falling way back and in danger of surrendering second place overall in the standings to Annie Thorisdottir as Horvath is stuck on her final round of handstand push-ups. Meanwhile, it's a good race developing on the left side of your screen, now in the middle. Catherine Davidsdottir on the left. Annie Thorisdottir on the right. The only two women to win 2 CrossFit Games championships. Thorisdottir starting to gain a little bit of ground. She's about a foot behind Catherine Davidsdottir when she extends her lead leg. The time to beat, Carrie Pierce. Probably won't last much longer. Catherine Davidsdottir is across, and Catherine Davidsdottir takes the Fibonacci.
That was a great run for Catherine Davidsdottir. That was solid, nice and strong. Surprising that Annie had to put those kettlebells down.
Annie Thorisdottir will finish second in the heat, and now Toomey is across. And Laura Horvath is on the other side of the floor, and she is just now getting to the overhead walking lunge. Sarah Sigmundsdottir is in, and that is Laura Horvath, who did not do this event last year. Brooke Wells just finished.
We wondered how it was going to look when we got here, and we saw some different events, more CrossFit style events for Laura Horvath. How does she handle the pressure as a rookie? All of those things that we talked about earlier. She looks strong, but now we're getting to see some of those areas of fatigue, some of those moments where she just stepped over the line, things like that that we didn't see earlier. There's opportunities for error that we weren't seeing.
And Kristen Holta just gets no rep as she crosses the finish line. Shades of what happened to Tia Toomey last year in that final heat. Laura Horvath is creeping up. More than a minute to go before we hit the time cap, so Laura Horvath can finish here. Right now, she's got to be worried about surrendering second place overall to Annie Thorisdottir as Kristen Holta finishes. Thorisdottir right now, third in the event. That would be good for 88 points, and she trails Horvath by 48 for second place overall, as Horvath is the last woman on the competition floor. And she's going to take a break. 2 rookies, are on the competition floor, as E. Schurch is still on her deficit handstand push-up. So Horvath is across the finish line, inside the time cap. That's big for her. Horvath will take 17th and pick up 46 points. Looking like she may hang on to second place overall, doing enough damage control, but Annie Thorisdottir will be breathing down her neck as E. Schurch is trying to get in as many reps as she can before we hit the 6-minute time cap.
It's a heck of a fight for E.
And with that, the second day of competition at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games is in the books, and Catherine Davidsdottir has the event win, her first of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, and it could not have come at a better time for the former 2-time champ.
It's a great way to finish up her day 2. It was a race between 2 daughters, Annie Thorisdottir and Catherine Davidsdottir. Handstand push-ups, they were neck and neck, but Catherine had a great fast transition to those deadlifts. She went unbroken while Annie decided to break them up, which allowed her to get to the lunges first. And from there, she didn't look back. She went unbroken all the way through. Annie had to put the kettlebells down at the end, but Catherine, no slip-ups, held on all the way through the 89 feet, and that got her 100 points. Annie had a little pressure here from Toomey at the end, but still was able to hold on for that second place finish. Meanwhile, Horvath, the rookie we've been talking about, was fighting. She had some struggle here. We are seeing some weaknesses in her as opposed to the field, but she still is among the top, and I'm anxious to see what she does tomorrow.
Little damage control for Laura Horvath as she looks to hang on to second place overall, but Catherine Davidsdottir with her first event win of the competition, 100 points, as she looks to creep closer to a spot on the podium, and she is with Mike Arsenault.
Thanks, Sean. The 100 points here on Fibonacci will put you closer to the podium position, Katrin. How did this compare to last year? Looked like a carbon copy to many of us here in the Coliseum.
This event?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I remember, but it was opposite. I was actually chasing Annie down last year, so I went a little bit, this was a little bit different this year, so we had more handstand push-ups, so I had to be a little smart, and then it was full attack mode.
How do you rebound after a rough performance in the CrossFit Total on Wednesday, 36? What do you tell yourself to stay strong mentally and focused on continuing to climb the leaderboard?
It's a cool opportunity to come back from something. It's very cool. So this gives me the opportunity to come here and work hard, and you guys make it really easy.
You're a veteran here at the CrossFit Games. Was Wednesday the toughest day of competition you've ever experienced?
Absolutely.
We'll leave it at that. Congratulations, Katrin.
Thank you so much.
Katrin Davidsdottir with her first event win of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, and she does manage to move up the leaderboard as Tia Toomey's lead on Laura Horvath increases, but the rookie hangs on to second place overall. Annie Thorisdottir just 6 points back, and Katrin Davidsdottir is back in the mix with Cara Saunders in fifth.
We love to see a race between those women, and that's exactly what we're going to have on our hands tomorrow.
The Tia Toomey, 2 days down, and she is your overall leader, but the usual suspects are starting to circle. The women are done. The men up next, the final heat in the Fibonacci